I want to thank you for your insights. Well, it seems natural disasters are hitting America at a record pace. From Hurricane Ida to wildfires in the West to flash floods that destroy the entire Tennessee town in a matter of hours. Are these events signs of a climate emergency? That's what the media would like to have you believe. But as Dale Hurd explains, weather history tells a much different story.
The signs are all there.
The United Nations has declared a climate emergency, calling it a code red for humanity.
Scientists say the planet is warming faster than at any time in at least 2,000 years.
It is unequivocal.
This is the beginning of a permanent emergency.
But what if it's all hogwash? What if what we've really had this year is nothing more than what folks used to call a hot summer, and not even close to the hottest summer this nation has ever experienced?
A heat wave in America, and hundreds of thousands leave New York.
The summer heat this year wasn't even close to 1936.
The 1930s were really when the terrible heat waves were.
Tony Heller of RealClimateScience.com is an environmentalist who, as an electrical engineer, helped develop the modern computer microprocessor. His website has become a collection of weather history which shows it was a lot hotter 90 and 100 years ago than it is today.
The claims that summers are getting hotter are simply not true. During 1936, 21 states set their all-time temperature record, and none set them this year.
In the 1930s, most of the nation saw temperatures over 100 degrees. Without air conditioning, it was common for families to sleep outdoors. Many thousands died, and what would become known as the Dust Bowl forced the migration of 3.5 million climate refugees out of the Great Plains and Midwest, many of them to California.
During the 1930s, places like Wisconsin were seeing temperatures of 114 degrees. North Dakota was 121 degrees. 100-degree temperatures were very common in the Midwest prior to about 1960, but since 1960, they've become much less common.
But what about wildfires? News reports suggest they're getting a lot more common. But the record shows wildfire burn acreage is down 90% from the 1920s and 30s. One reason wildfires seem to have increased is because the wildfire data before 1983 has been erased. The website of the National Interagency Fire Center used to show how wildfires were much worse in the 1920s and 30s. That has been removed. The reason given by the National Interagency Fire Center? Prior to 1983, the federal wildland fire agencies did not track official wildfire data using current reporting processes. So now when the media visit the website, it shows wildfires steadily getting worse. Heller also shows how NASA has changed its historic weather data. This NASA temperature graph from 1999 showed the warmest temperatures in the 1900s were in the 1920s and 30s. Sometime later, NASA changed the graph, and it now shows U.S. temperatures getting warmer. Joe Bastardi is chief forecaster at weatherbelt.com and the author of The Weaponization of Weather in the Phony Climate War. He says catastrophic weather events such as Hurricane Ida are used to show a climate emergency, when hurricanes just as strong hit this continent hundreds of years ago.
It is astounding what you see going on today as far as the weaponization of each and every weather event. Climate does change. The weather is always changing. The very nature of our creation demands change and reaction. What I do mind is people with a one-sided perspective that won't give people the total picture.
But this isn't just a debate about weather. It's costing you money. The Green New Deal proposed by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could cost as much as $93 trillion. And most of us are already paying more in taxes because of the belief in a climate emergency that the weather record suggests doesn't exist. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Dale, great reporting. But ladies and gentlemen, what is the game? The game is to take control of your life by the government and force you to be part of a global oligarchy that wants to take control of the lives of everybody. It is part of socialism. It has nothing to do with climate itself. It has to do with taking over your life. And it has to do with ruinous taxation and absolutely killing spending to bring forth a new type of new world order based on government control. And the whole idea is to make the United States to go along with the Paris Accords, to surrender our industry, to break down our advantage in what we do, and to go along with China and Russia and whatever, and India, who really are polluting the planet pretty badly. And we will be part of the Paris Climate Accord. President Trump, to his credit, took us out of that mess. Now they want to put us right back in the middle, and they want to spend trillions and trillions of dollars to reorient buildings, to force everything into the mold of some young congresswoman who doesn't have a clue as to what she's talking about, unless it is an evil intent to take over your life and waste the money of the United States of America.